Díomh Charta agus Forgate Fáilte, welcome back. Michal here from Grinds 360. So we're going to continue on with Lisin, Hurlamaboc. We've already looked at Ruan and Kuan, so now we're going to look at the next big key player in the exam questions, and it's going to be the poor husband Paul. So again, we're working on the bottom of page 37 and the start of page 38 in our notes for today. So let's go for Paul the husband. Now again, quick thing, do we need all of the material here? Not really, no, we don't. So pick and choose what you would like to use with this. So the first one that we have here is Sator Arfacht. We've already used that already, so I'm going to highlight that for you there and just put this in. So the Lisin Sator Arfacht. So on the hunt for, on the pursuit of perfection. She was on the hunt for perfection with her life, her kids, we know, but now we're going to put with Lena Farkela with her husband. So the husband had to be perfect. And she was also on the hunt for perfection, Lena Seal Posta, with her married life, which again, it's just another way of saying Paul as well. Again, you can use Lena Farkela, you can stop, or if you feel like you can push it out a little bit, definitely do Lena Seal Posta. A phrase that I love, so I'm going to put a little bit of red on this for you as well, because it's not something I would see. Voharin na smuinche memory lane. Boharin na smuinche memory lane. So hui she sheer, she went back down, she went back on. Hui she sheer, she went back. Voharin na smuinche down memory lane. Now we're going to use the word chivnik. We have the word chivnik, she remembered. You might know that phrase already from is kivin leon, I remember. I'm going to pop in one little word again. I'm going to use that word sheer that we already used a couple of seconds ago here. So chivnik she sheer, she remembered back on. On ur, on the time. Nor chas she Lena Farkela. Do me a favour, will you underline that word chas? Chas means to meet. Now if we were in a class, I would say to you, do you have any other words that you can use in Irish for to meet in Irish? And you all put up your hands and say, Michal, búil. Búil mele, and you're 100% right. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to keep that word búil for a couple of seconds. What we want to show the examiners, we know other words. Chas. So now the chas she Lena Farkela when she met with her husband Paul. But gná gunne is the word for a normal person, an average person. So he was a normal person before Lisin got her claws into him. And the word imyogan fukal means more or less. So bagana gunye, he was a normal person, imyogan fukal, more or less. Now, Nordavul Lisin le Paul. When Lisin met with Paul, and there's the second phrase for meet in Irish, word búil. So when she met Paul, vishe imon ibre. Now I'm going to get you to use the word, or underline the word imon ibre. I know for a fact, you know the word egober means working in Irish, and that's perfect. If you want to surprise your examiner and impress your examiner, imon ibre, much better. The exact same thing. It's a little tishel ginnalock. Don't panic, we'll get around to the tishel ginnalock a little bit later, but if you really want to impress somebody, imon ibre, working. Now where was Paul working? Paul was working in a local shop. It was a spar or a centre, something very corner shop type place where he was working. Nirev Uridus Pingen Rua. So there wasn't as much as a red cent, Uridus Pingen Rua, as much as a red cent in a hell of in his possession. So he was poor. And I know the word bucked, don't you? Bucked meaning poor. So nice phrase to say that he was actually quite poor. Nirev Uridus Pingen Rua, he hadn't got a red cent in his possession. One of the things I love about Lisin, right, if you just have a look at this Stocock Anaby, I would love if you could get this in, right, because it is absolutely shocking. Stocock is the word for a young lad or a young fella, right, so that's a Stocock. But see the word Anaby? Anaby translates as unripe. So she thought he was a bit of a Stocock Anaby. He's an unripe young lad. There's room there, there's room for perfection with Paul. We're going to use the word vas, because vas means taught. You know the word hjap and heel. We've got three lovely words for taught in Irish in the past tense. Let's go for this one here. So vas Lisin, Lisin taught gur Stocock Anaby a, that he was an unripe young lad. Hjapshi, there's our second phrase. So hjapshi, she taught Greshe booked, that he was poor, but we already have a nice word for poor, or it is pingen rua. And I really want you to try and get this one here, right? Gon ulveen, if you can just highlight this for me. Gon ulveen means without ambition, without drive, without determination. Any of those translations would be perfect. So, vas Lisin, Lisin taught knock rev. Now let's translate the word knock rev together, right? Knock rev means that there wasn't. So knock rev, that there wasn't. Fun dul kun kin. desire for progress, ambition. So nach raibh fun dul chun cinn, that there wasn't a desire for progress, there was no ambition there in Paul. Now, the first part we have here, léirigh she, and I love this about Lisin, right? Léirigh she showed, léirigh she do fall, she showed to Paul, go raibh she, that it was, go raibh she ar a chumas, that it was his ability, that it was his capability. So go raibh she ar a chumas, that it was his capability. Ní ba bhó dhéanamh, to do more. How condescending is that? That is just the essence of Lisin. So ní ba bhó a dhéanamh, to do more with his life. Chonig Lisin na féidearachtaí. Let's go for this word here, féidearachtaí, first for a second. I'm going to put red on it because it's not something I would see too often from students. We can see the word féidir in there. If I asked you in Irish, what does is féidir lum mean? It means I can. So is féidir lum, I can, and that's exactly what we have in there. Féidearachtaí. Féidearachtaí is the word for potential, possibilities. So chonig Lisin saw na féidearachtaí, the possibilities that were in him, the potential that was there. This is key Lisin, so we need to highlight this here. Bhuanlaigh she. Bhuanlaigh is the word for to mold, to shape. So bhuanlaigh she shaped, she molded an tógannach anolach. An tógannach means the youth, the young lad. And an óileach is the word for ignorant, uneducated. So an tógannach anolach, the uneducated young man. Now this is peak Lisin. Lisin is Lisin's awful, if I was to be perfectly honest, but awful in a really kind of impressive type of way. She puts you down without even knowing that you've been put down. So she moulded the ignorant young lad. Choig. We've already seen this when we we're talking about Ruan and Cuan, so I might just get you to throw another line underneath this, which means promoted. So choig she promoted. Ulvin, determination, or drive, or focus, or ambition. Any of those translations will be perfect for Ulvin. So she promoted ambition in him. Tá chumar an scéal, one of my favourite phrases. I use it everywhere. And it means it looks as if, it seems as if, or it appears as if. Any of those translations are great. So tá chumar an scéal, it looks as if gur fearr difriúil atá on. That it's a different man now. So what we have with Paul is somebody who's very, very different to what he was before Lisin. So that's what we need to put in with this. Do you see this part here? Avui le. Avui means thanks to. So avui le Lisin. Thanks to Lisin, we have a proper man in front of us. So what type of man is Paul now? Well, thanks to Lisin, avui le Lisin is leactore. He's a lecturer, a university lecturer. And not only that, we're going to say is fearr cliste erdemul e. Now you know the word cliste, meaning clever and intelligent. That's perfect. That's that word here for you, right? If you're looking for something a little bit better, if you feel like you can actually push the boat out a little bit more, see this word here, erdemul. Erdemul is another word for intelligent, intellectual and clever. So it's leactor cliste erdemul e. He's an intelligent, clever lecturer. And now I'm going to highlight this in red for you. Mull more arrogant. Huge amounts of money, massive amounts of money. So Tillan Shay, he earns mull more argach, huge amounts of money. Now why does he earn huge amounts of money? Why is he able to earn that amount of money? Tushk Garchanig Shay stock, because he bought stock. Now where did he buy the stock? If you feel like getting stretched out a little bit more for me, pop on the words air on Idrlin on the internet. And it follows the exact same structure as English. Air on Idrlin, on the internet. Tihe Brahamora. This is a word, I suppose, it means fine big houses, but it essentially means mansions. So I'm going to highlight that in red for you. It's not something I would see. So Tihe Brahamora, mansions. So Chianig Shay, he bought Tihe Brahamora, fine big houses, massive houses. And then Fudfod na Hurlamaboc, all over Europe, all around Europe. Higshay on chorus Connacht. This is really important with Paul. I'm going to get you to put little NB beside this for me there, right? On chorus Connacht, which means the tax system. So he understood the tax system, which is a really sneaky way of being able to say he was able to hide money around the place and not get caught with it. So we're going to put an NB beside that because that's actually in the book. So Higshay, he understood. On chorus Connacht, the tax system. We need to bring this back to Lisin again. So we had that word here, avui le Lisin, which means thanks to Lisin. If you're looking for something a little bit more like that, you could use this phrase here, le cuidiú, which means with the help of. Le cuidiú Lisin, with the help of Lisin. Now Paul is what? Tá sé ina ar sever. He's a rich man. So thanks to Lisin, tá sé ina ar sever. He was working in a shop, centre, spar, corner shop, one of those. Now thanks to Lisin, she moulded him, she shaped him, she told him he could do better in life. So he's a rich man. I've got two lovely pieces of vocab. I would like if you could pick one or the other, whichever one you want. It's totally up to you. You can put in the word lenta, which means educated. So he's a rich, educated man. Lenta. Lisin, very snobby, puts you down, but puts you down in a nice way that you don't know you've been put down. So he's lenta, he's educated. You can also use this word here, intellectual, which means intellectual. So we've given our examiner three lovely words for intellectual, clever, or smart in Irish. Number one, we have the word cliste there. We also use the word éireamh, there. And if you're feeling like you can use it, you can tell him that he was intellectual as well. He's an intellectual man. But again, this is all thanks to Lisin. Right, only a couple more sentences. Teach bra mór is a mansion. So bhí teach bra mór acu oscail na Fuinseoige. So they had a mansion, they had a fine big house. Where? Will you underline the word oscail na Fuinseoige? Oscail na Fuinseoige means like Fuinseog, but oscail means avenue. And I think this is really, really important to tell your examiner, right? Lisin lives on an avenue. Lisin would not be caught dead living on a road, on a boher. Could you imagine living on a boher? So oscail na Fuinseoige on Fuinseog Avenue. Tá an Chilach co-sever. Co-sever means so rich. Now, they weren't just rich. This is the thing, Lisin wasn't just rich. Lisin was wealthy. Lisin had money. So we need to pop that into Irish. And if you want to talk about wealth, but I mean like serious wealth, it's the word rockmasoc. So tá an Chilach rockmasoc. The family's seriously wealthy. Or you can just use the word sever. But there's a bit of a difference between sever and rockmasoc in Irish. Like sever's just rich, but rockmasoc, that's wealth. So the family were very, very wealthy. Now, because they were so wealthy, Gá is in need. Ein Gá, any need. Níl ein Gá ag Lisin. There isn't any need for Lisin. Post all to get a job. So Lisin's under no obligation to do work. Could you imagine? Now, if you feel like you can push it out for me a little bit more with this, right? A cuid a hiarú. Brilliant phrase. And it means to earn her keep. So if you want to use one or the other, or if you want to use both for your examiner, depending on the grade that you're chasing, go ahead. So níl gá, ein gá ag Lisin. There is no need for Lisin. Post all to get a job, or a cuid a hiarú, to earn her keep. Rockmas nach beag, huge wealth, massive wealth, mega wealth. So tá rockmas nach beag ag Lisin. Lisin has mega wealth. Lisin has a massive amount of wealth. During this, we've used phrases like cheap and vas and heel, meaning taught in the past tense, like cheap Lisin, vas Lisin, heel Lisin. Very good phrases. I'm going to give you something that you can actually add on that I know for a fact, bar my own students, I have never, ever, ever seen on an exam paper, and it's this phrase here. Tá Lisin den varul. Varul is an opinion, like tuaim, that you would know in Irish. So tá Lisin den varul. Lisin is of the opinion. That sounds really snobby, doesn't it? But that's what Lisin is. So tá Lisin den varul. Lisin is of the opinion go bhfuil dul chun cinn, that there is progress. Janta aki. Now janta, or daint as you might say, daint means made, and aki, by her. Sasil, in life. Similar structure as English. So go bhfuil dul chun cinn janta aki, that there is progress made by her in life. And ceapan she thinks. Ceapan she. And I love this about Lisin. Gur cheart é a chéileadh. Ceart is the word for right, proper, or justified. Gur ceart é a chéileadh, that it's right to celebrate it, that it's justified to celebrate it. So Lisin thinks, do you know what? I have a fantastic husband. I made him rich. I have perfect kids. I made them clever. My life is amazing. And she thinks, do you know what? People need to know about this. So gur ceart é a chéileadh, that it's right to celebrate it. And if you feel like you can add on this little bit here for me, right? Os cor means in front of. Os cor until ward. Os cor until ward, in front of the entire world, right? So in front of absolutely everybody. So that's a real kind of key part of Lisin, that she really does want to kind of celebrate this, but it has to be done in front of everybody. And the last thing that we're going to talk about with Paul here, right? Poor Paul. Sheelam, we know means I think. That's grand. And we have a middle part here, go rev Paul. Now let's translate this together, because we see this everywhere in Irish. Go rev Paul, that Paul was. So go rev Paul, that Paul was. And we've two lovely pieces of vocab here. Fui ordog Lisin, under Lisin's thumb. Ordog is a thumb in Irish. So fui ordog, he's under the thumb, he's under Lisin's thumb. And if you feel like you can push it out a little bit more, fuina slot, right? Lovely phrase. Fuina slot means under her stick. Think about it. If you were getting bet with a stick, you're under it as much as you possibly can. So fuina slot, under her stick. So two lovely, lovely, lovely expressions in Irish say that Paul was absolutely at Lisin's mercy. So fui ordog Lisin and fuina slot, under her stick, but under her control. Right, that is the second part that we've done with Lisin. Again, Paul is a big, big part of Lisin's life, and he's a big part of the novel. So we need to get this in for all of our questions coming up. Now, do you need absolutely everything in this? As always, no. Pick and choose the phrases that you like, what you find comfortable, and use it. And again, folks, don't forget, at all times, let's just make sure that we're ticking off the revision part in our booklets to know that we've done the material and we've transcribed the material. That was Paul done today for Lisin Gurmeen Waigov. Slán Anish.